Great to see all of you here. This is an exciting night. We have nothing to report from closed session. I'd like to announce that this meeting is recorded for live streaming and archiving on the district YouTube channel. So, our Pledge of Allegiance is going to be read by Olivia Wilson, President of Matthew Turner Student Council, and Sydney Villanueva, the Vice President, and Ella Comandante, who is the Secretary. If you could please stand and come up front and lead us in the pledge.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, girls. That was great. The mission statement.
Our vision. We are an inclusive community that cultivates an equitable and responsive commitment, empowering all students to develop strong character and academic excellence to become well-rounded and engaged global citizens.
Our mission. In partnership with students, families, staff, and the community, we are committed to
Inclusive community, respecting diversity and nurturing a safe and equitable environment. Empowered students, being responsive to student needs and voices while fostering the passion for learning, collaboration, and individual expression needed to reach their future ambitions.
strong character, promoting social emotional learning, integrity, mental and physical wellness, and values-aligned actions.
Academic excellence, supporting and retaining a caring and well-trained staff who promote critical thinking, cultural, and technological literacy by ensuring rigorous and innovative programs. Well-rounded and global citizens, offering relevant learning opportunities to help build a sustainable future.
Thank you so much. Well done. Well done. Love those strong voices. Good job. So we come to our highlight tonight, which is very special. I'm sorry?
We have to approve the agenda.
Oh, we do, sorry. Excited. Yes, I am.
I move that we approve the agenda as written.
I'll second.
Apologize, but we do need to remove the last action item, which is the job description for wellness coaches. We are still working with CSEA on clarifying some of the details.
And in addition to that, we're going to pull from the contracts, the school services contract for the executive search, and we have a different plan.
Okay. I move that we approve the agenda with the appropriate changes that we discussed.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed. Thank you.
Now we come to our exciting highlight tonight, Dr. Jennings.
Good evening, President. I'm going to take this off. Good evening, President Grubbs, Board Trustees, Superintendent Calabrese, and the BUSD community. I am honored to be here this evening to present to the board for recognition some of our exceptional classified and certificated educators. Before I begin, I want to thank our labor union partners, BTA Vice President J.J. Jones and CSEA President Cindy Crane, for their assistance with the selection of the Educators of the Year for Benicia Unified School District. The contribution made by our classified and certificate employees is invaluable, and we appreciate their leadership of these essential employee groups. So with that, we're going to get started. Benicia is so fortunate to have an abundance of exceptional educators who work diligently every day to serve students and families in our district. Tonight, as I call up each honoree, you will hear a small piece of what was shared by their colleagues in the nomination process, revealing a continued theme of dedication, positivity, and care. The honorees tonight are the heartbeat of our district. We are going to present the classified and certificate educators of the year in the following order. First, we're going to do district administrators of the year. Then we'll do Benicia High, Liberty High School, Benicia Middle School, Joe Henderson, Matthew Turner, Robert Semple, Mary Farmer, maintenance and operations, and conclude with child development. So just so everyone knows who's here to celebrate and what order we're going to go. We're going to stop and take a picture in between each honoree so we can make sure to capture this special moment. And once you're a family member or colleague, I'm talking to our lovely audience, has received their award, we ask if you want to transition to the overflow space so others can come up and be present for their family member or colleague. And with that, we're going to get started. And first up, let's see who comes through the door. No. First up is Mark Nelson. So let's give it up for Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson is in his, you get to stand here and awkwardly look. No, you can face the crowd. Mark Nelson is in his third year as principal of Benicia Middle School. He exemplifies outstanding secondary leadership through his impactful work with staff and students. Under his leadership at Benicia Middle, the school has demonstrated measurable and consistent gains in CAS scores across all student groups. In addition, Mr. Nelson has cultivated positive, trusting relationships with parents, staff, students, and the broader school community, transforming Benicia Middle School into the thriving learning community it is today. So let's congratulate Mark Nelson. Okay, so step back. Each of our honorees, and then the board's going to stand up, and we're going to take a little picture, capture this moment. Yeah, and Step all the way back there because you're kind of tall. Each of our honorees are receiving a certificate and a little gift of downtown dollars that can be spent at any of the wonderful places downtown Benicia. So they have that. Thank you, Principal Nelson. Let me exit this way. Next up, we have Principal Stephen Slater from Matthew Turner Elementary School. Oh, Michelle, actually, Chris, can you come up? Chris, can you come on up? Sorry, I should have done this to give the certificates. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Principal Slater is known for his positivity and humor. He has been selected as the BUSD Elementary Administrator of the Year due to his outstanding leadership and deep commitment to students, staff, and families for the past 10 years at Matthew Turner Elementary School. From greeting families and students by name each morning to maintaining a strong and visible presence across campus, he creates a welcoming environment where everyone feels seen and valued. His dedication to building relationships and fostering a collaborative and inclusive school community makes him a truly deserving Elementary Administrator of the Year. Let's congratulate. You're welcome. So if you guys just want to step back, and we're going to take a quick picture. And yes, thank you, Superintendent Calabrese. Okay. Okay, thank you. Next up, we are going to celebrate some people. The two from Benicia High, which I believe aren't able to make it tonight. So as the crew exits, we're going to have Principal Kleinschmidt, who's going to accept their certificates in their place. So we have Patrick. It's possible, but these two are not here tonight, so I'm thinking that they. No, she's not her. No, she's accepting on their behalf. Patrick Escalante, who's the custodian of the night shift. Patrick is the custodian at Benicia High who takes pride in his work, which is evident in the cleanliness of his assigned spaces. He has been complimented on his work by our campus lead custodian on multiple occasions and completed special projects at or above exception, especially as we prepared for our WASC visit and annual Williams facilities inspections. He cares deeply about our school community and brings his family to participate in our school events such as Trunk or Treat and Festival de Comunidad. So congratulations to Patrick, who is not here tonight, but we want to definitely take time to represent for him. Let's get back, yeah. Unfortunately, who is also not present tonight is Andrew Phillips, who's a science teacher and department chair at Benicia High School. Students, parents, and colleagues sing Andrew's praises as an educator who demonstrates high accountability and high support for his students. As the 9th grade science teacher and AP biology teacher, Andrew works with a range of grades and ages, prioritizing engaging lessons and strong communication. One of Mr. Phillips' students shared, "Mr. Phillips is great at making connections with his students and supporting them." And a parent commented, "You can tell he cares about his students. He pays attention and spent time calculating how to partner in my son's success." As a teacher, Andrew Phillips frequently goes above and beyond what is required to do. So congratulations to Andrew Phillips. Thank you. Next up, we have Liberty High School, and our class, here comes Principal Lewis. Give her a hand. And we have Christina Vega, who is our Classified Educator of the Year. Congratulations, Christina. Christina consistently creates a welcoming and kind environment for the students at Liberty High School. Through her warmth and genuine care, she builds meaningful connections and ensures that every student feels seen, heard, and valued. We've heard that, right? That's super critical and important. Her kindness is one of the reasons our school is a safe place for students, particularly for those who need stability and reassurance during the school day. She goes beyond providing nutritious meals. She takes the time to learn students' names and intentionally builds relationships with them. Her presence in the cafeteria helps make it a positive, supportive place where students feel comfortable and respectful. Congratulations, Christina. Can I take a picture? Okay, congratulations, Christina. Next up is Celeste Dacone, who's the counselor at Liberty High School. Congratulations, Celeste. Celeste has an amazing ability to connect with our students and is truly the heart of Liberty High School's Learning Through Interest program. Her work consistently centers students' individual strengths, interests, and aspirations, helping them see the real pathway for their future. She thoughtfully organizes learning to learn opportunities that align directly with each student's spark. This includes arranging visits to community college classes, bringing in guest speakers for students' fields of from students' fields of interest, and guiding students through the process of enrolling in community college. Because of her efforts, students gain authentic exposure to post-secondary options and begin to envision themselves as successful learners beyond high school. Our campus and our students are better because of her dedication and heart. Congratulations, Celeste. Okay, congratulations. Next up, we have Benicia Middle School, Principal Nelson coming back out again. You get a second go around. Mr. Nelson. And we are so pleased and honored to recognize Shazette Jackson. Coming out, Miss Jackson. Miss Jackson works as a special education aide in room E9. She has served in this capacity for a very long time and has made a tremendous difference in the lives of multiple students. She has become more than an assistant, as she and the classroom teacher have developed a strong partnership that supports students of all abilities. Miss Jackson has had a profound impact on the students she supported over the years. Their love and appreciation is clearly evident when visiting room E9. Congratulations, Ms. Shazette Jackson. Your compassion, skill, and deep commitment make it a immeasurable difference every single day. Congratulations. Yes. No, you don't have. Oh, yes. Oh, and Mrs. Ramirez, of course. Come on up. Oh. Congratulations, Miss Jackson. Congratulations. Okay, let's go. Next up is Erin O'Leary Montgomery. Mrs. O'Leary Montgomery is a teacher at Benicia High School. She is most known for being middle school. Sorry, did I say that? Middle school. She's most known for her many years in service to the yearbook and is responsible for the production each year. My daughter can attest to that. Spent many a day in her Mrs. O'Leary's classroom. She has served tirelessly as the coordinator of the Benicia Middle School yearbook for many years. Additionally, she's an invaluable mentor to her colleagues, fostering a supportive environment that benefits the entire staff. Her incredible ability to connect with students in a kind, caring, and way shows how much of a dedicated teacher she is. She ensures every child receives the personalized attention and emotional support that they need to thrive. Her contribution to our school is profound. She has positively impacted countless students. Congratulations, Erin O'Leary. Get a picture. Well, you get a picture. Congratulations, Mrs. O'Leary Montgomery. Next up is Joe Henderson Elementary School. Come on out, Principal Belanti. Here to celebrate this wonderful classified staff is Principal Belanti. We're going to recognize Jenny Aravello, who is the office specialist. Come on out. This year's Joe Henderson Classified Staff Member of the Year is Jenny Aravello. She is admired across the Henderson Hound team for her kind, caring, and consistently welcoming presence in the front office. She brings a cheerful energy to every interaction and is always ready to help. She greets students by name, supporting their needs with patience and warmth. She handles the fast pace of the office with ease. Jenny is organized, flexible, and a quick learner who has taken on many roles. No matter the question or situation, she approaches her work with a positive attitude and a genuine desire to support others. Congratulations, Jenny. Georgina has it down. Okay, congratulations, Jenny. Next up, also from Joe Henderson, is Rebecca Shearer. Come on out, Rebecca. Congratulations, Rebecca. Rebecca is the wonderful resource specialist at Joe Henderson. She is admired throughout Henderson for her dedication, her professionalism, and deep commitment to students. Colleagues describe Rebecca as hardworking, organized, and a reliable role model who consistently steps in to help, always putting students' needs first. She shows exceptional understanding and flexibility, maintaining open availability for all special education students and adjusting plans as needed to support individual progress. Known for her patience, kindness, and positive can-do attitude, Rebecca is well liked by students and staff alike. She goes above and beyond every day, always with a smile. Congratulations, Rebecca. We're gonna take a picture, so step on back. Congratulations, Rebecca. Next up, we have Matthew Turner, and Principal Slater is coming back out for a second round. Matthew Turner's Classified Employee of the Year, or Educator of the Year, is Janine Otterbeck. Come on out, Janine. Janine Otterbeck is an extraordinary professional whose skill hold on. I'll wait until we get everyone in. As soon as we get the door closed. There we go, thank you. Janine Otterbeck is an extraordinary professional whose skills, dedication, passion, and steadfast commitment make her an invaluable member of the Matthew Turner Elementary community. As a special education assistant, Janine works tirelessly to support students, staff, and families. Her deep understanding of best practices, combined with her natural wisdom and courage, allow her to navigate even the most challenging situations with grace and strength. Janine is always thinking 5 steps ahead, anticipating needs and creating solutions that allow students to thrive. Teachers, staff, and students alike agree that Janine is an essential part of what makes Matthew Turner a supportive, joyful, and successful place to learn. Congratulations, Janine. Okay, congratulations, Janine. Next up, we have Marissa Larson from Matthew Turner. Thank you for... Marissa serves as the speech and language pathologist at Matthew Turner Elementary, and her impeccable work ethic, depth of expertise, and remarkable ability to motivate her students sets her apart as a truly exceptional educator. She is a humble champion, driven, and an exceptionally skilled speech therapist whose professionalism and commitment to students, families, and colleagues makes her an extraordinary asset to our school community. Marissa's impact is seen daily in her outstanding work supporting students' speech and language development. She brings a rare combination of technical skill, gentle encouragement, and instructional finesse to her sessions, whether she's working with preschoolers, developing foundational communication skills, or school-age students striving to strengthen articulation, language, or social communication. Congratulations, Marissa. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. They want one more. You're welcome. Congratulations, Marissa. Next up, we have Robert Simple Elementary School. We have Principal Moore here, who is here to help hand out the awards for Elizabeth Zizzy Cowgill, who's our student supervision aide. I love that you're wearing your dragon green, right? So Elizabeth, otherwise known as Zizzy Cowgirl, stands out for her unwavering dedication to students in the school community. As a student supervision aide, she ensures that lunch and recess run smoothly while making sure students feel supported, safe, and cared for. She goes above and beyond by consistently communicating with classroom teachers about student behavior, both positive and areas needing support, and guiding students towards making good choices. Beyond her student interactions, she is a collaborative team player who pitches in to problem solve, finds more efficient ways to complete tasks, and support her colleagues. This is what makes Elizabeth Zizzy Cowgirl a tremendous nominee for a Classified Educator of the Year. Congratulations, Zizzy. Congratulations, Izzy. Up next from Roberts, Simple, Christina, Principal Moore. You guys all. Next up, oh, she's not here, but but come on up. We can receive it in her. Rebecca Lind, who is our, we'll give it to her out. Rebecca Lind stands out as an innovative, dynamic, and selfless educator who consistently goes above and beyond for her students and colleagues. Rebecca creates and delivers engaging lessons that make learning fun while fostering an inclusive environment where every student feels valued. She develops meaningful relationships with her students and extend beyond the classroom, inspiring joy, enthusiasm, and a genuine love of learning. Her students consistently demonstrate growth, both academically and in social emotional learning, due to her patience, skill, and commitment to helping each child succeed. Beyond her classroom work, Rebecca has been instrumental in developing and expanding our Dias de los Muertos celebration and many other school activities. So congratulations to Rebecca. Thank you. Next up is we are celebrating the Educator of the Year from Maintenance and Operations. Give it up for Director Romero. Director Romero is here to accept the award for Mitch Filschick. Mitch has an incredible eye for detail and keeps the district office grounds and school sites looking fabulous. He has been known to research specific trees and plants to determine when's the best time to prune or shape them. His high attention to detail is evident in the district's carefully manicured lawns and shrubs. He is always focused on his work, but takes the time to return a wave and say hello. So with that, we'd like to recognize Mitch as Maintenance and Operations Educator of the Year. Okay. Thank you. Oh, do we? Tell Mitch I said congratulations. Okay, next up we have Mary Farmer Elementary School. We have we'd like to acknowledge their office specialist as the Classified Educator of the Year, Yasmin Leva. What distinguishes Yasmin from others is her calmness, strength, and compassion, and deep commitment to caring for students, staff, and families. She takes great pride in her work and approaches every task with professionalism and kindness. Yasmin has a natural ability to make others feel welcome and supported, creating an atmosphere of trust and belonging from the moment someone walks into the Mary Farmer office. Yasmin pays close attention to students' needs, monitoring attendance with care, reaching out to families with empathy, and always looking for ways to support them beyond surface-level solutions. Whether it's calming a student in pain or reassuring them that everything will be okay, she brings a sense of peace and compassion that comforts everyone around her. Congratulations. Congratulations. Our next two Educators of the Year are the district's Educators of the Year. So let's bring out Bethany Barr, who's coming. Bethany was selected as the representative to the County Teacher of the Year process. So she has completed a very lengthy application, There's like multiple mini essays that you have to write. So I appreciate all the hard work she put into that. But what distinguishes Ms. Barr from others is her deep commitment to building community, fostering connection, and inspiring a love of learning that extends far beyond her classroom. Each day begins and ends with a family circle, an essential part of her classroom routine that sort of sets the tone for belonging and respect. Bethany makes a consistent effort to ensure that every child feels special. Her students thrive because they know their voices matter and their teacher genuinely cares about who they are. Mrs. Barr's creativity and dedication shine through in the March Madness event that happens every year at Mary Farmer. It's a tournament of books that she co-leads each year. She carefully selects a range of diverse books, invites staff to record themselves reading aloud, and turns the experience into a joyful school-wide celebration of reading. This tradition promotes literacy and unites students and staff through the shared joy of storytelling. Beyond her classroom, Ms. Barr helps organize family literacy and math nights, collaborating with our student leadership team to give students opportunities to lead and shine. She is dependable, encouraging colleagues who contribute thoughtful ideas and support her team in countless ways. Ms. Barr leads with care and creativity, working hard to give her students a strong academic foundation while building connections that strengthen our entire school community. Her passion for teaching, her genuine relationships, and her commitment to creating meaningful experiences makes her an amazing educator, a true asset to Mary Farmer Elementary School and Benicia Unified. So congratulations, Bethany. Congratulations, Bethany. And last but definitely not least is our Benicia Unified Classified Educator of the Year. I'm going to introduce Erica Dudley, who is the Director of Child Development, and our Classified Educator of the Year for Benicia Unified is Maribel Romero. So come on in. Maribel stands out from others due to her unwavering commitment to creating a quality learning environment for both students and staff. She consistently goes above and beyond expectations to ensure her classroom is a warm, engaging space where preschoolers feel safe to explore, play, and grow. She intentionally designs learning centers and developmentally appropriate lessons, not only to support students' curiosity, but also to increase their confidence, and really specific to the unique needs of every child in her care. Her impact extends to her team and beyond her team and colleagues. She prepares her team thoroughly each day, offering clear communication, thoughtful guidance, and strong organizational systems that help her classroom run smoothly. Because of her supportive leadership, her team feels confident, valued, and able to perform at their best. Colleagues across the district will seek her out for her ideas, advice, and inspiration. She shares her knowledge generously and without hesitation, helping to influence and elevate the practice of others. Her ability to positively influence student learning while simultaneously strengthening her team and colleagues is what truly sets her apart. Congratulations, Maribel, Classified Educator of the Year.
Congratulations to all our honorees tonight. It sounds like there's a party going on outside. So we come to item number 9, student reports. So we have Rosita Sanchez and, is Frida here? Yes, no, she's not here tonight. Okay, so Rosita from Liberty.
Good evening, President Grubb, Superintendent Calabrese, fellow trustees, and cabinet members. We are celebrating Black History Month, and we will be honoring the contributions and legacies of African Americans who have helped shape our country or nation. We are planning an assembly where students will learn more about HBCU schools. Students will be showcasing their talents by performing and reciting poetry. We will have gallery walks highlighting contributors in math and science, as well as creating projects that connect historical figures to modern social issues. We have learning through interest field trips planned for the upcoming weeks. We are visiting a fish hatchery. This hatchery is located in Golden River, California, near Sacramento. The hatchery is run by California Fish and Wildfire Department. They support river and ocean fisheries by raising fall-run chinhook salmon and steelhead trout to replenish the depleting population. After we return back from break, we are visiting the trucking driving school in Vallejo. This is for parts of many students' LTI programs, those that are interested in pursuing careers in transportation and automotive repair. Finally, we would want to extend a huge congratulations to Liberty High School Staff of the Year, our counselor, Ms. Dakineh, and Christina Vega from Food Services. Both bring immense care and joy to our campus, making Liberty a welcoming place for everyone. On behalf of Liberty High School, thank you.
Thank you. And Isa.
Good evening, President Grubb, Superintendent Calabrese, fellow trustees, and cabinet members. In the past weeks, BHS had our annual Clash of the Classes competition week from the 26th through the 30th. Students participated in the Spirit Week to gain points for their classes, and class champions participated in lunch competitions leading up to the rally last Friday. The senior class ended up winning the Clash of the Classes trophy for the second year in a row. Also last Wednesday, was the last day for 8th through 11th graders to finish their course requests. This week on Monday was the Spring Sports Info meeting. On Tuesday, leadership held our elections information meeting for prospective students. Tomorrow on the 6th is the Quarter 3 progress report, where students can check their grades in areas. In the upcoming weeks, we have our ski week break from the 9th through the 13th, with the 16th off too for President's Day. Also on the 9th is the first day of spring sports, and school resumes on the 17th. On behalf of Benicia High School, thank you.
And then we come to the superintendent report, Mr. Calabrese.
Yeah, well, good evening, board. What a great night. That was just my hat's off to HR, Pat, excellent job, and just celebrate all of our staff members. Absolutely amazing, and I just love the outpouring of the folks that came tonight with signs, banners, special hats, everything else. And I'm sorry I didn't get a picture next to Mark Nelson to point out how short I am next to him, but he looked really good in that suit. So to see his sons from here beaming at their dad getting that award was pretty special. So pretty special night. First off, I went to Joe Henderson this week, and I was saying earlier, if you're having a tough week, go to TK. And to see these little learners, and today they were working on hearts and putting circles within the heart. And as the teacher wanted to introduce me and try and decide, it's tough to say Calabrese to a group of TKers and expect them to say that back. And so she introduced me as Mr. C, but one little one spotted me, heard that, and said, "Hi, Mr. C." And I was like, what great listening skills. It was really heartwarming to see that. Matthew Turner Elementary School, personal narrative writing, and I was super impressed with this, using this chart to be able to help students as a writing aid, and as they were able to do some drawings on there, but also collect their thoughts before putting it into a final product. And I asked this young person if I could take a picture of it, and they agreed, and so it was lots of fun to be up there. In addition, I went into Mrs. Shepard's class, and they were learning how to solve 8 times 9 by using the break-apart method, and they were very proud of their work, and so they decided to show it to me on their whiteboards right there. I was able to snap a picture. Mrs. Shepard and I were able to share, we were talking in Italian to one another, lei capisce italiano ma non molto bene, and so she told me cosi cosi, so. And it turns out that our families are both from southern Italy, and her family from Sicily. And so the students were amazed that we could speak another language, and we talked about the importance of learning other languages. It was lots of fun. Congratulations to Robert Semple Spelling Bee winners. Adam and Gage, they did a great job, and congratulations to them for winning the Spelling Bee there. This is from Matthew Turner Elementary STEAM Night. Just a great event. I was not there. I was at a conference, and so these pictures were sent to me by Mr. Slater, and really appreciated it. Huge turnout, great support from parents and staff members, and so can't say enough about it. And so it was just a huge success, and so my thanks to everyone that was involved in that. And then we got to honor Jennifer Rad, first grade teacher at Mary Farmer Elementary School, at the Rotary Teacher of the Month luncheon yesterday. And so first grade teacher extraordinaire. And I just love what Principal Fleming said. She said, I've been waiting a very long time to give this award to you and to be able to sing your praises. And so phenomenal teacher. We're lucky to have her and her support of our first grade students. And I want to thank Rotary for continuing to support that program and honoring our teachers. It is National Counselor Week, and so I really appreciate that Benicia Middle School put this out there on Instagram, honoring their counselors, and so I want to thank all of our counselors throughout the district for all that they do in support of our students, and definitely a very, very needed. And so these two phenomenal ladies at Benicia Middle School, always opening up their doors, always walking the hallways, always with a smile on their face whenever I see them, and so big appreciation. You know, next, our students did such a great job tonight reading the vision. Their voices were so powerful. And so I'm not going to read this to you because I'm not going to do as good a job as they did. But I was reminded this week as we saw a student walk out about our vision as a school district and an inclusive community that cultivates an equitable and responsive environment, empowering all students. And we want to hear students' voice. And sometimes when that comes across, when you have a First Amendment right, sometimes that means listening to what you don't like to hear. And sometimes that means sharing what needs to be said. And so I want to thank our students that were citizens this week that exercised their voice, and they did it with civility. And for those that did, I want to thank them. And it's important for us as we move forward as in a community, as a district, as a state and a nation, that we show civility to one another and we exercise our voice. And I've been thinking about ways of how I can get out to the high school and hear their voice and have them voice that to me. And so I have some ideas that I want to bring back over the next couple months, and so be able to hear that. And it's super important for us. And so I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Next, we come to board reports. Would anybody like to start?
I have just a couple things. I actually got a chance to go to the Robert Semple Spelling Bee, which was really fun. Watched Adam, who won first place, and now he's moving on to the county spelling bee in March, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I also had the opportunity to attend the Matthew Turner Elementary PTA meeting with the superintendent, which was really wonderful to, just listen to all of our community who supports our school, which is really great. And I missed the last public meeting last time because I went to the BHS open house, which was really great and a really great opportunity to see teachers and meet teachers and the counselors. So a lot of really great work out there. That's it.
So this last month, I was honored to participate on a panel that was organized by Andre Lewis, who is the founder of Literary Engineers, also a Benicia resident whose 3 daughters went through our schools. Also, the American Legion Auxiliary 101 hosted the event. It was called Women and Girls Empowerment Connection. And the purpose of the panel was to connect women in leadership with the young women who applied for Girls State, which is a leadership camp. I went to Girls State in 1995. Dr. Jennings went to Girls State. just a year before me. And my fellow panelists were Carrie Birdseye, Dr. Getsemani Moss, and Corey Dam, who teaches at Matthew Turner, and who also went to Girls State and is now a counselor at Girls State. Lots of Girl Staters. We had a packed audience. It was an awesome space. Audience members shared stories of struggles and how they, just overcame them and achieved. And we had the Girls State applicants, including Miss Pilot, who left, but she was in there. They're such tremendous women, and only one can be selected, unfortunately, to attend Girls State, but I just want to say that they are all bound for great things. It was really awesome to see. I also had an opportunity to attend the governor's budget workshop with Ms. Barrington, Dr. Jennings, and then Lisa Delorifus and Cindy Crane from CSEA and BTA. Big takeaways, this was a review of the governor's budget, which we'll hear about tonight, but my big takeaways were that we really can't count on the state funding that we think is coming our way, and it's very, very, very difficult to plan with our various timelines, and it's a really complicated situation. So we'll hear more about that. Thank you for including me, and along with our union representatives. I think it's really important for us to understand how our schools are financed. I was able to attend Logan Beata's Eagle Scout Court of Honor, and I want to congratulate Logan for earning his Eagle Award, and also thank you to Principal Kleinschmidt and Mr. Shields for being there to support Logan. It's great when we see staff out there in the community supporting our students. Last but not least, I attended the Matthew Turner STEAM Night. It was packed. Everybody was engaged in activities. And then last but not least, the budget advisory meeting earlier this week, which President Grubbs made. Are you going to talk about that one? I was there.
Briefly.
There you go. That's it.
Briefly, the Budget Advisory Committee is made up of board members, superintendents, administrators, parents. And on Tuesday, we had the, I guess the privilege of really sitting down together and brainstorming together and looking at what we do have to cut. But it was a very collaborative process led by Superintendent Calabrese, and it was so collaborative, but it's still very sad. It's nothing that any of us want to do. And I think that's really important for all of us to remember, is that we are in deficit spending. We do have to make cuts to our budget. None of it is easy, and it is heartbreaking. So I just want to say that. This is a night of celebration. I didn't want to say too much about the budget. So we'll go on. Does anybody else have, Mark, Sherry? Okay. So we come to comments from the public. In the meantime, I'll read the little blurb that we need to read. Members of the public may address the board at a regular meeting on any item within the board's jurisdiction. Speaker cards are available on the entrance table. Please note the item you wish to speak to and submit a card to the board secretary. The board president will call all the open session general comments, Government Code 54954.3, during the public comment item. Comments for items on the agenda will be called for during the specific item. Comments are limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker, or the board may limit the total time to 20 minutes per item with the timer displayed on the monitors. By law, no action can be taken or any item raised during the public comment period, and matters may be referred to staff for placement on a future agenda of the governing board. Please be reminded to keep your comments respectful, as students may be watching the board meeting. Thank you. Do we have any? We do not. Moving on. We are at item number 11, approval of the consent calendar. So background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on roll call votes unless discussion of items is requested by the board members. So, is this just an all-encompassing vote except for the,
It is an all-encompassing vote, but we do have resolutions, there'll be a
Yes,
separate
except
roll
for the-
call. But I do want to clarify that I heard at the beginning that contracts were being pulled. This is where we need to pull them, so I just want to, for the record, say the contract listing, it's the 2 school services contracts that are being pulled?
Correct.
Okay, so that's where I'll make note on that, and we're going to approve it without those 2 contracts. So, you want to go ahead and ask for a motion?
can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar as written.
Not as written,
Oh,
Without the-
with changes,
with the.
with couple changes.
I'll second.
And this is a roll call vote, so President Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch,
Yes.
Trustee Seda,
Yes.
Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Manasi.
Yes.
Thank you. And then we'll go down to the resolution.
To item 11G, approval of resolution number 25-26-27, declaration of obsolete property for Mary Farmer Elementary.
President Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch,
Yes.
Trustee Seda, Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Manasi.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we come to 11H, approval of resolution number 25-26-28, declaration of obsolete library media material for Mary Farmer Elementary.
President Grubbs, Trustee Hirsch,
Yes.
Trustee Seda,
Yes.
Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Manasi.
Yes.
And approval of resolution number 25-26-29, declaration of obsolete items for Benicia High School.
President Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch,
Yes.
Trustee Seda,
Yes.
Trustee Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Manasi.
Yes.
Thank you.
And finally, we come to approval of resolution number 25-26-31, declaration of obsolete tech equipment.
President Grubbs,
Yes.
Trustee Hirsch,
Yes.
Trustee Seda,
Yes.
Maselli,
Yes.
and Trustee Manasi.
Yes.
Thank you.
And now we come to item number 12, and Superintendent Calabrese, you're up.
So sorry, thank you. First reading of our, sorry, get myself squared away here. First reading of our recommended California School Board Association Board Policies from January 2026. And we have reviewed these, and so this is before you today for a first reading.
Is there a motion to approve? Oh, we don't approve here.
No, it was straightforward.
All righty, then we come to 12B, Facilities Fees Governing Board Requested Follow-Up. Superintendent Calabrese.
Yeah, good evening again. So I think I brought this to you several months ago. We talked about facility fees, and so what we've done here is I have a couple of proposals for you tonight to move forward with and get some feedback from. And so just a background, who's got the clicker? I think I might be able to manage it. Yeah, kick me if I miss a slide. All right, so just background, the Civic Center Act, and so that that our facilities have to be open to nonprofits and to youth and organizations in our community, right? And then we have to have a fee structure that goes with that, right? And then also things that happen on our school site shouldn't go against basically our vision, or that are going to, they need to be in support of our students. And so the second slide here is really about key factors for us to consider. They have to be aligned with our board policy 1330 and 1325, which again reiterates that civic service and support of our community and support of our students. And then in addition to having that fee process for any type of outside vendors and things like that. There's ongoing district costs to our facilities and running our facilities, right? And so for an example here, to replace the stadium AstroTurf would cost us about $975,000, right? So nearly $1 million, and that will last for about 20 to 25 years at AstroTurf, right? Obviously, there's cost benefits to putting in AstroTurf because that reduces our water bill, no mowing, things like that, right? We have to remember that when we don't charge for custodian, we can't do that because it's a gift of public funds. And so we have to be conscious of that. I will say that in my exploration of this, there's lots of opportunities to partner here. And so that's really what I want to talk to you about. And I keep saying this, and I'm going to keep saying it because I believe it really to be true. Benicia is ripe for partnership, right? For partnership with our nonprofits, right? For partnership with the city and other agencies. And so I think we need to seize that opportunity. If we do, based on some of the proposals that I have for you tonight, we would need to make a change to board policy, suggesting in one of the proposals that we break it up from free use to direct cost recovery use, fair rental value, and commercial, and I'll explain that as we go through it. But we also have to keep in mind adherence to contract language. And so in other words, when we have a CSEA member, a custodian, we can't replace their work, right? We can't have someone volunteer. We certainly can help, we certainly can support, but we can't, that person, that's their job, and we have to make sure that they do that work, right? And then we have to keep in mind the mutual support of our students and programs. And so supporting our Benicia students is what I heard from you. And so when a program supports our students, then we want to be supportive of that nonprofit or that program. And so I'll take you through this process here. This was our fee schedule currently for nonprofits and for commercial. One of the things that I had hoped was that we had enough commercial business that maybe it could offset the cost for our nonprofits. Well, it's simply not true. We don't get a lot of commercial vendors using our facilities. And so that's not going to be an option for us to increase commercial fees in order to offset the nonprofit fees. This was the comparison that I shared with you before about our fields and the costs of them. I explored others beyond that, and it's really tough because we have a very unique stadium that others do not. And then as our fields are changing, to compare them to some of the other fields out there, we really can't. And so this is a fair representation of surrounding area that has, in many cases, like fields than us, and in some cases not. This is the fee structure for the stadium, and as I looked around, and I also looked into Contra Costa County, very similar fee structures depending on the age of the field. And so we see that $150 per hour price or higher on those newer fields, especially with AstroTurf, and then lower when it is a field that just hasn't been updated. So I shared this with you last time, the PTG rates. We don't charge our PTOs, PTAs for facilities. We do charge for the custodial fee if it is outside of regular workday or requested because of that, the fact that it would be a gift of public fund. But I do want to point out, and I think it's in another slide, that Cindy works really hard to work with those nonprofits and PTGs and PTAs to say, okay, do you really need 2 custodians? You know, let's look at the hours here. If you had this on a Friday during the end of the school day, but during their shift, we wouldn't have to charge you. You know, does this have to be a Saturday event? And so she really walks through that process with them to reduce that. I don't know that has in the past always been done consistently, but I can say that Cindy has worked really hard to make sure that she's doing that. Nonprofit, we charge reduced rate, the custodial fee piece, and then for-profit, we have the charge commercial rate. And then the last piece there, we don't charge for custodians for any group if it is during our regular work time. So current fee structure, PTG, nonprofit, commercial, and so not charged facilities. Nonprofits are charged for a reduced rate, commercial charged for a commercial rate, and then the piece about staff. And that staff could be a custodian, that staff could be a campus supervisor. It just depends on the event, right? So here's the proposals. So proposal A is to break down from those 3 categories of PTG rates, nonprofit and commercial, to a 4th category. And I didn't label them except by the cost. And so a free use, so our PTA, PTGs, PTO, work to reduce the cost of the custodial part. And then direct cost recovery, and that's language that comes out of board policy. And so there's a staff fee and cost of supplies. So that one, what we would do there, and what I'm proposing is that if you want to go this route, we would have a preferred list of nonprofits that we work with. So that's looking at our students. So you have a program like, a great example is the church across the street from Benicia Middle School, right? We use their parking lot. They feed our students every morning, right? They need to use our facility. They would be on a preferred list, and we would do basically a fee structure that's reflective of that. Right? And then the fair rental value, that's where we're charging for the nonprofit rate, but we're amortizing in order to consider the impact of them being there, right? And so you add in an additional fee per our contract and fair rental value for the impact that will have that day. And then the commercial use. So the fair rental value is really what we're doing right now with our nonprofits. The difference here would be that direct cost recovery. That piece there, we would have a preferred list of nonprofits. So what's the difference? You have this preferred list of nonprofits. So what if there's a nonprofit from outside of our area that wants to come in and do something? They want to hold a track event at the stadium. Well, then that would be a fair rental value, right? And not the discovery, because it's not necessarily our kids. That would be students coming from outside the area, right? And there's impact to that. And so, but it's still adjusted rate as opposed to a commercial use rate, since they are a nonprofit. So feel free to stop me and ask questions, but that's my first proposal. The second one, I got a little bit more creative here as I started exploring districts in Southern California. So same fee structure, PTG, PTO, PTA, I'm gonna get confused on that one. We don't charge for facilities. We continue to charge and try to work to reduce the custodial piece or campus supervisor. And then the nonprofit rate, instead of that having that split out where we have the preferred group, what I'm proposing here is a wave reduced. Wow. I don't know how I did that one. I'm not sure what a wave reduce is, but we would reduce the nonprofit rate for in-kind support. Yeah, I guess so. Thank you, Yanni. Appreciate your humor. And then the commercial rate would stay the same. And so let me explain what I mean by the reduction here. So Play Benicia. So Play Benicia, it stands for Partnership for Learning, Activity, and Youth. I did use Gemini for this one. I was trying to come up with a creative way, but this is something that I was exposed to actually in an agricultural use, and it's giving credits to a nonprofit in a partnership. And so the concept behind it is the district may offer facility use credits through the Partnership of Learning, Activity, and Youth Play, allowing nonprofit organizations to offset facility fees by providing documented district-approved student programs and services. So what am I talking about? Well, let's say Arsenal Soccer wants to come in and they want to teach a PE class to our K-3 students, right? Right now, our teachers teach PE, kindergarten through third grade. Well, what if Arsenal came in once a week and did that, right? And supported that classroom teacher. Classroom teacher's still there because we need a credentialed teacher to be there, right? But one of the toughest things as a primary elementary teacher is getting those PE minutes in and going out and doing that. And when you have someone that can support that work, so then we would give them a credit for that time. And then we'd offset the cost of facility based on that. And we would have to figure out a schedule based on that, right? So lunchtime intramural sports at Benicia Middle School, if an organization came in and offered that to us, then we would offset the fees for their program. It's also behooves them because those are their students and potential students for them to join their program, right? And then our special education classes, doing PE with our special ed kids. I can't emphasize that enough. And so to come in and work with our Pearl students and other programs, right, at the elementary or middle school, maybe this is once a week, maybe it's once a month, whatever the case may be. PE supplies and donations. I had a conversation with Christina Moore, and she was talking about how the soccer balls disappear and the bouncy balls disappear, right? And so if when they're bulk buying for their program, if they can throw in extra balls for us too, and then we would take that evaluation of that monetary value and offset the cost of the facility. A tryout clinic, I think, is just a great way for nonprofits in the area to be able to introduce their programs to our students, but it also allows us to whether do a PE or a noontime activity, and it involves kids, right? I don't think this just pertains to sports. I think this could pertain to music and arts. And so, and then another piece of this, and this was really, I got to give credit where credit's due. Alfredo said this to me, that, you know, these nonprofits in the area employ a lot of our own students as referees and assistant coaches. And so it almost becomes like a CTE program within this. And so to kind of explore that, that avenue, and, you know, these students, maybe not going to go on to coach in the NFL, but maybe they are going to go in and become a PT someday, right? And maybe they are going to go on and play ball in a college and be able to put that on a resume that they were doing this. And so we give credit to those organizations that are employing our own students. What that structure looks like, it would probably be a Google Doc. They would fill it out. We would confirm with the site leaders that that is actually happening, and get some sort of documentation, so that we could give it. Is it dollar for dollar? I don't think that would be wise, but I do think we could offset their fees based on some sort of percentage, or basically offset on a percentage. So yes, questions.
Who is going to determine what those fees are? Is it going to be a department? Is it going to be, like, who's going to determine? I get it, it has to do with the space, what the space that they're requesting, and I guess the amount of student or kids and adults that will be attending these events. But who determines that? Is there going to be a, I know you said fee schedule, but like, we can't deviate from one to the other. So
Correct.
I just want to make sure that it's across the board.
Yeah, sure. No, and that fee schedule already exists for us about what the cost is for the facility. I'm not suggesting we change that. I think we keep it at the rates we have. But we would have to, I would work with Alfredo, with Cindy, with others, and get together and have a meeting about what does that look like for this exchange piece, right? And establish what is dollar for dollar, hours for hours, what that looks like, and then establish it. But so if you give me that direction tonight, that's what I would next explore. But you're absolutely right, because it cannot change, and it can't vary from group to group, or sport to sport, or program to program, right? We need to be consistent. But at the same time, I want to have some creativity there, because someone may be thinking of an idea that I have not, and come to us and say, we'd like to do this program, and I don't know, kazoos. And so, and offset by having a kazoo program at lunch, right? And ukuleles actually are very, very popular. So, but we would have to establish ahead of time what that looks like. And so whether that's based on hours or based on a monetary value, I think that's how we keep it simple.
I had a question. You anticipated most of my questions, so thank you. But one question I have, and I love this idea, would we have discretion over who we partner with and who we don't? For example, with our flyer policy, we allow one flyer from one organization, we allow them from all organizations. If we do this model, do we lose discretion over who we partner with, or can we have some discretion there?
Yeah, no, I think we still have to have that discretion.
Yeah.
I think that's already spoken to in our board policy as far as those nonprofits that benefit our students in our community. And I think that's our primary piece that we start with. So really, really good question.
We would have to approve those flyers, correct? They would have to swing through the district.
Correct.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Are there any more questions?
I just want to acknowledge the work that you put into this, so thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. We've been asking for this for a while, so really appreciate the time that you've taken and sort of the out-of-the-box approach that you've looked at. So thank you very much.
You're very, very welcome. Again, I think we're ripe for partnership. And the feel that I don't like is when folks feel like somehow if you're in this program in Benicia, then the school district doesn't see you as a positive. And I want to build that relationship. It's not seen that way anymore, right? That these are our students that they're serving ultimately, right? And as one of you pointed out, students come to us and play soccer here from other communities. We have about 58 homes for sale. And so if we want to attract those parents to our community, right, eventually, then I think it behooves us to look at avenues that show them what a great district this is, right? So, yeah. And again, in Southern California, they're doing lots of different programs like this. So, yeah.
I'm sorry, Amy, do you want to go?
I just had a quick one. I was thinking about the new funds that BachMed has released for application for grants. And I wonder if some of our lighting, if that could be switched out to more energy efficient lighting, because I don't think they're LEDs. I think they're pretty expensive to run. Just a thought.
Ooh, that's even the middle school, because we've talked so much about the middle school with lighting and that going back and forth about not having lighting, having lighting.
Yeah, as you know, I've sent out the information about the superintendent's grant committee. I think we have 6 applicants now. And so we'll be moving forward with a meeting here coming up, I think the 26th, and we're going to explore that grant and look at what our options are. Part of that is definitely supporting the environment, right, by reducing energy costs and being more efficient. Part of that is to support the health of our students and community, and part of that grant goes to moving families or employees. I say that generally, right, as a Valero employee, away from the oil industry and into other industries, right? And so we're going to explore each of those options. I think what's key for us is we have some budget constraints that we look at ways that we can offset our general fund, right, long term, and then also things that we can do that are going to extend our bond, right, and go beyond it, right? Like, for instance, one of the things that we were talking about today with Trudy and Roxanne and I were talking about the windows in our district, right? Pretty energy inefficient, right? You look at the windows, whether you're at Matthew Turner or Mary Farmer at the high school, right? And so about $2,000 to replace a window. And so you're looking at a $10 million project, right, to replace the windows in this district, with the exception of this building. And so exploring that though, right, because the energy savings there could be significant for us, right? Our water bill is another one that's really, really high. What are some things that we can do to explore reducing our water bill, right? I don't know. I don't know if this grant will solve all of those issues, but we certainly can explore many of them. And it's a portfolio grant, so we will put multiple things into that grant, and they can line item out which ones they don't approve.
Do you envision, and maybe I missed this, so apologies, but creating, agreements or contracts with some of our nonprofits that gives them, I guess like the transparency of, from both angles or from both sides. Also just establishing, the amount of use that one organization might request to use.
Yeah, it's a really, really great point. And really, Sherry hit on that earlier, and I meant to answer it then. So I think when you create a schedule like that and you're doing those trading, I think it'll be really important for us to create either an MOU or something like that. And that would be, if you move ahead and tell me, go ahead and look at Plan B here, then, or I guess my 2 proposals were B and C, I don't know, 1 and 2, I'm not sure now. But then I would talk to legal about what that would look like, right? There's a debate out there about an MOU versus a contract and what's enforceable, right? And so I'd want to make sure that we put something together. But, it's got to be mutual beneficial, obviously, for both parties. But great point.
And, the other, I feel like I heard this from your explanation about custodial fees, but, I know that there's 2 PTGs, Joe Henderson and Robert Semple, that that have community events on the weekend, which require the custodian. Is there an opportunity for them to, I know that they're responsible groups, like clean up and do everything themselves, or does a custodian have to be there? I realize somebody from the school has to be there, and it's usually the principal. But, do custodians have to be there?
Yeah, for emergency purposes, a custodian has to be there because if there's a broken water line, gas leak, right, a fire, something like that, we need to have someone that can be responsive to that, right? And know where all those things are to shut them off, right? Where I would say what would be really, really helpful is if you have a Parents Club team that sweeps the campus to clean up, then that's less overtime ultimately, right? And that custodian is pretty much leaving when the parents are leaving as opposed to still being there an hour or 2 afterwards, which adds to the cost.
Which is also 1 versus 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because obviously you cut your costs in half. Mm-hmm. What I did as a site principal often was we always had a cleanup crew. We swept the campus and for our events, and then our custodian was typically leaving with us because we were done.
I don't necessarily have like thoughts A versus B. But I think that they're both great. I guess the B is the big difference is the in kind, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And they are not opposed to one another, like they can work simultaneously
Yeah,
too.
I think simultaneously is, that's my feedback.
Okay, well, I'll continue to pursue this and look into it further.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, thank you for this. So now we come to item 12C, and Mrs. Barrington, you are up.
Right. I'll say good evening, Board, Superintendent Calabrese, Cabinet members, and the public. On January 9th, the governor released his final budget proposal as governor. He actually had a State of the Union the night before and basically released all the details, and the next day his staff on the 9th actually released it. He focused on highlighting the things he has done as governor that's brought into the state. At the same time, what wasn't necessarily discussed is that a governor who gained office with a surplus of funds, the state is not in the same situation, and so there are challenges with the budget, most definitely at the state level. One of the things that has been highlighted is in 26-27, the state has monies still to do all the various projects and one-time things they want to do. What is concerning is what happens in 27-28 and 28-29. And so the Legislative Analyst's Office differs with the governor on how much money is truly available and what the deficit might look like between the two. So it is the ongoing $22 billion conversation. Also, if the stock market swings at all, it could have a significant impact on the budget. So that is one of the things that was highlighted. So what does that do for us in education? Because that's statewide. Our largest funding is Proposition 98. You know, currently we're supposed to receive 40 cents of every dollar that comes, that is within the budget. But there are some challenges. There is overall declining enrollment statewide. So fewer students reduces the funding. There is deficit spending at the state, local level. And we have this second year of, the word maneuver's been used. But what it is there's a settle up that will be owed to education. I don't know that owed is the right word. There's a settle up due. So not all of the funding of the 40 cents of every dollar is actually in the budget to come to education. What can be done is Proposition 98 can be suspended. So if they're not going to meet the 40 cents on every dollar, they suspend it, and it creates an IOU bucket. When they don't suspend it, it creates a settle-up responsibility, but that doesn't necessarily mean the dollars come one for one to the local entities. It can negate future deferrals, make sure the state as a whole maintains solvency. So last year it was 1.9 billion. This current year, 26-27, it's 5.6. That's not being distributed down to the local level. Kind of spoke a little bit ahead of changing the slide on you, sorry. But of the funding, 71% is going to come to education. 29% is going to go in the rainy day fund. Remember, in this current year, the rainy day fund had to be used to keep the budget at what it's at. And so there is a requirement to go back into it. But there is this $5.6 billion that is the unknown of how the state is going to address that deficit to us. Based on that information, we have funding factors for our local control funding formula, which is our major funding source out of Proposition 98. And as you can see, on average, It's about $13,500 per student that a district similar to us, base and supplemental, would receive. Now, I know there's a lot in the news that says that the students will be funded at $20,000 a student. That's every funding source put together. That's not the majority funding source. So yes, there's add-ons with restricted funds, but this is the unrestricted dollars that we get. Benicia sees roughly $12,800 per student. So we're not quite at the average, and that just has to do with our enrollment in our ADA makeup. In the governor's budget, one of the programs we do have here, our ELOP, our Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, there is a proposal to increase the rate 2 amount. So we fall in the rate 2 category. We have less than 55% of unduplicated. So if you look at that center column where it says 2526 and it says the rate of $1,575 per unduplicated pupil, that is what is in the current year budget. That is not what we are funded at in rate 2. Rate 1, those districts that meet that are getting that dollar amount. Districts in rate 2 are receiving $1,283. So while it's in there to be that dollar amount, that's not what's actually coming to us to do our program. So then taking that highlight in 26-27, the budget is proposing $1,800 per unduplicated student to run the ELOP programs. We will be cautious in our projections because the last thing in the world you want to do is budget for $1,800 a student and you get $1,200. So we will continue to work with our after-school programs to make sure that we plan accordingly. Since this is in 26-27, the state does have funds. They will do a second time as proposed for some more one-time funds to kind of backfill the things you can see in this graphic. There's an estimate that it could be $512.48 per ADA. If that is how it's distributed, then we will receive some restricted one-time dollars to do some of these things you see on the screen. And we will work with providing you information if we are funded this on how we can spend that. If you remember back many, many years ago, when all the COVID dollars came out, we got what was called the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. They sent all the money to us, and then at the end of the year, when the year was over, they said, well, actually, we're going to take some of it back. But this is an IOU to us. So it was supposed to be over 3 years, this current year plus 2 more, to repay back that money that was withheld. They're actually able to repay us within 2 years. So for us, it's just under $300,000. It requires an assessment to be done by Ed Services and to write it directly into the LCAP, and then the LCAP will speak to how these funds can be utilized. So those will be reflected in the 26-27 budget. Even though in the current year we have the money, all this background work has to be done first before we can actually spend it. Along with presenting projections for the 26-27, we did get updated information regarding what COLA might look like in the out years. What I would like to highlight is when the 25-26 budget was adopted by the state, they projected for 26-27 that COLA would be 3.02%. COLA now is being projected for 26-27 at 2.41%. Same thing occurred in 25-26. The COLA that you see highlighted there for 27-28, 28-29, they're also lower than their previous projections. So this is one of the things we need to be cautious of, is that we do build our multi-year budgets based on these revenue projections, and then as they're decreased by 0.5% to 1%, the revenues then disappear, but your expenditures do not, unless there's something planned for.
Can I ask a question about the CalPERS employer rate on the?
Yes.
Why does the percentage seem to vary each year?
So
CalSTRS is consistent.
So both have boards. CalSTRS has a commitment to a rate not to change. for now, unless they were to take action to do so. CalPERS meets every year to establish the rate based on how the funds are invested and how they're producing. What is positive about the CalPERS rate is you don't see a rate above 27%. There were 27 and 28% projections in the out years, so it looks like investments are doing better. But these are still significant percentages. If the longer you've been in education, you used to see single-digit percents here. And so this is the percent of salaries of each of these categories that fund retirement systems.
Thank you.
No matter what is done at the state level, our district is going to have escalating costs. This is something that happens on the natural. We have step and column as an ed code. Health benefit caps are negotiated, but oftentimes there is a lot of lobbying to increase it. Utilities are ever increasing. This is something we even talked about at the Budget Advisory Committee. Like, what could we save if doors are closed while heating and air conditioning is on? Can there be a reduction? If we're conscientious of when we're watering, when we're running things. So those are things we're going to look at. Insurance premiums are climbing. They're directly related to the cost of replacing and things the district has some ability to monitor, but can't get away from having these increases imposed on them. So all of those items you see there in that top bullet, those happen whether we get an increase or not. And so they're really the first call on the COLA dollars you get. And then we also have negotiation that has a call for those dollars. So that's the challenge in building into the budget to ensure that we stay fiscally sound. Last slide before questions. In the multi-year projection, it's always important to remember that assumptions plus today's decisions equal projections, and projections are not forecasts or predictions. They are based on the best information you have at the time and have to be adjusted as things adjust. So more to come. Items we do now know as far as COLA will be incorporated into second interim. And then in May, the governor will release his May revise. It's been stated this is a workload budget, so basically copied from one to the next. And anything that needs to be adjusted will be adjusted. It's hard for our local LEAs because you're also having to approve your budget before you know what's really going to happen. Do you have any further questions or discussions about the proposed governor's budget for 26-27?
Appreciate it.
No, thank you. I wanted to ask, do we know how that 1.9 billion that was withheld or settled up from last year?
Back to us.
Yeah, do we know how they're going to settle up?
So there's no proposed deferrals. It's an accounting strategy that the state likes to use. They give us June's money in July, so it counts in the next year, but we have to count it in the year it happens. So that would mean it's being spread over numerous years to give it back. Also put money back in the rainy day fund that's required. So it's not that we're going to get an additional amount per ADA that shows up. That's not happening. That's why it's often called the maneuver. It also changes what the floor is, because if you're supposed to have $100,000 that's distributed, but you keep 10,000 of it, the new floor is less, and then you're only adding COLA to the new floor as opposed to the floor it should have been. So we prefer when they suspend it. Well, we prefer when they fund it, but I prefer when they suspend it because it's an IOU. When it's not suspended, it's utilized the best way they can to keep the state solvent.
Trudy gave a really nice technical answer. My non-technical answer is that we don't know when that money's coming to us. We don't know in what form that money is coming to us, and we don't know how much that money is coming to us, right? It could come back to us in one-time monies. It could come back through something else, right? And they could take a percentage of that in a different way, right? And so my Uncle Guido calls that something else besides a maneuver. And so it is incredibly impactful, right? And that is why folks label it the maneuver. And it's unfair to the schools in California to do something like that, right? And I get the state has a budget deficit and the impacts that has, but when you have a Prop 98 that promises those dollars to schools and then you maneuver it away, but then you turn around and tell the people of California that you're fully funding schools, then you're not telling the truth.
Thank you.
So clear, and none of it's good news, sorry. But thank you for your clarity and your specifics. So you are still up because we are at 12D, projected enrollment for the 26-27 school year.
So forgive me if I don't have good news, I just have honest news.
Oh, well said.
So every year at this time, after you hear about the governor's budget, we present to you what we believe will be our enrollment for next year. And the methodology used to determine this number is taking each grade and moving it up to the next. So your kindergartners become first graders and so on, and your 12th graders exit. If your kindergarten class is equal to your 12th grade class exiting, you might stay flat. When it's not, as we've seen, our kindergarten class is shrinking, and so as it moves up, there are less students at each grade level. This is a trend. This is showing you from 2011-12 to current how our enrollment has been in Benicia. And what we do not know is 25-26 a blip or not? And what is going to happen as some major changes happen in our city with Valero closing and our known information we know about students being released from surrounding districts to attend in Benicia. So what you see before you is a projection of a decrease from our current 4,405 students to next year. We believe we will have 4,216. What this represents is all kids being cohorted up at each grade level, and then taking into account at our IDA renewable grade levels, kindergarten, 6th, and 9th, we are not making assumptions that those will automatically happen. We're building in conservatively, except for our families who work within Benicia and are here on the Allen bill. Those students are part of these counts.
What percentage of the other IDAs are you taking out?
We're not taking out from other districts, just our known neighboring city of Vallejo. So just at the kindergarten, 6th grade and 9th grade level.
So we're assuming that Vallejo's not going to release the
Allen bill.
yeah.
We may get some, but what Vallejo has stated is they will release 1% of their enrollment outside of their district. We are one of a few districts that receive students from Vallejo, which is about, if they stay at 1%, 80 to 90 kids being released.
Okay, thank you.
So we're being conservative at the grade levels that require IDA renewal for our district per our board policy.
Was that, so the number that you just gave, was that Allen bill or was that outside the Allen bill?
The 4,216 include our Allen bill.
Right, but then you said that there was 1%.
That's what Vallejo is saying. Families that come to them requesting release, that they will release 1%.
But those are not Allen bill students.
That is my understanding. It could be, I mean,
You know, I don't know that we know that.
yeah.
That's a great question, but I don't know that Vallejo is clear on that either, whether they're counting Allenville or not in that. So one of the things that we asked of them is if they would give us a list of who they've denied, and they did not want to share that with us. And so, you know, and for whatever reason. So, but that's a good question, but I'm not sure that they know.
Okay, thank you.
So the assumption keeps the Allenville students as remaining within Benicia. I also want to highlight our birth rate for the incoming kindergarten class is less than 200. So our projection is we believe we're going to have greater than 200 kindergartners but we're gonna have to watch and really follow our enrollment. And open enrollment is open, so please register your students.
I have a question. So our board policy, our interdistrict transfers have to apply at 3 stages in their educational journey, basically. But I thought Vallejo's policy was that they have to apply for release every year. Is that correct? And if that's correct, does that mean that we could potentially see a loss of more students who are not being released to go outside of our schedule?
The short answer is yes.
Yeah.
And that would be drastic to our district,
Yes.
and we don't believe that will happen all in one year.
Okay.
So some of this is hope, and some of this is best guess.
And can that policy be yearly? Does a district have the ability to set the policy however they want? There's no other state law?
That's correct. They can make that yearly. And we don't have an agreement as a county between all the school districts for that. And so other counties sometimes do. So they can, just like they changed the Allen Bill language to say 35 hours, whereas the Allen Bill says 10 hours, and our board policy says 10 hours. And so those families can then appeal to the county board, and their argument would be that the Allen Bill, the law, says 10 hours. And so then the county board would then have to make the decision whether or not they approve or deny that.
So this is the enrollment being used as of right now in the multi-year projections and moving forward in the projection for the 26-27 year. One positive thing to remember is we are funded based on ADA of current, prior, or the 3-year average prior, whichever is greater. So currently, this looks like our 25-26 year will have the highest amount of ADA. We have more students. I'm still attending only 94.5% of the time, so greater attendance does equal more revenue, but that likely will become what we're funded on next year, which gives us a little time to plan more.
Thank you. Thanks, Trudy.
Okay, now we come to action items number 13. And Dr. Beatson.
Good evening, President Grubbs, trustees, cabinet members, Superintendent Calabrese. I'm very excited to bring this MOU to you. It is a partnership between the Solano County Office of Education and Benicia Unified. They have some additional grant funding that needs to be spent over it's only 1 year for next year. They have called us and asked, because they like our wellness program that we have, and would we be willing to partner with them where they could fund up to 4, at a particular rate, wellness coaches. And so those are folks who have completed between 150 and 300 hours of related service in the field, so doing the work perhaps that they've currently done or somewhere else. They either have an associate's or bachelor's degree, so there was a little more work that they needed to do, and they apply for a wellness coach certificate. And that would be for 1 year, and they could fund up to 4 of those positions. And so there would be some other requirements. One would be that they would start to bill, and I think I've talked about this before, to the California Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, which is a new state law, which says that mental health services that students receive in school, and there's a whole variety of people that can provide those services, different services, can bill private insurance companies with parent permission to recoup some of the money. It does not affect the parents' copay. Parents have no cost. Parents can still receive the not parents receiving the service, sorry about that. Students could still receive the service if parents decline to provide their insurance information. We have a lot of families that have already provided it. We're in the training and setup process, but these positions are able to bill for their service.
Nice.
So I bring to you this memorandum of understanding for your consideration and approval.
This is exciting.
Any questions?
The individuals that we currently have in the wellness centers, does this apply to who we currently have?
The position, we had to pull this evening the next action item because we're still working on the job description. So the position has changed a bit to include some additional things. So they are absolutely welcome to apply for those. And some of them already have a wellness coach certificate because we've been doing this work with California Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, CIBE for short. So we got them all to get the certification, well, most of them.
If I read correctly, it said something about that there would be someone who would lead or direct the coaches.
Because they are a classified position and they're not a clinical position, we have to have someone sort of be their supervisor. Just as we have interns, they have a supervisor. So
And who would that be?
it would be someone in our district that has a, a marriage, family, health. I'm going to say it wrong. Yes, thank you.
Like one of the psychologists.
So it could be a psychologist, yes.
Great. So essentially, we're set up
Yes.
for success and to be able to implement it.
Nice.
That's great.
And there's no additional cost to the district. This is all funded entirely
For
by
1 year.
SCO.
1 year, yeah.
What
This is
this would
great.
allow us to do is really, we should be able to start billing this spring. We're hopeful to be able to do that, but it would give us some more time to recoup some money. The wellness center coach billing is not a lot of money, but depending on who's doing the billing and what service they're providing, there's all different rates, just as if you were to go to,
And where would they be? Would they be all across the district?
That's something we'd have to figure out once
Okay.
once this is approved and we have the.
But it's up to 4, so we don't technically have to do 4. If we don't.
All right. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the MOU with SCOE.
I'll second.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Me.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed. It passes.
So, and then we come to item 13B,
Which is pooled.
which was pulled. So, sorry. Okay. Well, in that case, it is 7:44, and we are going to adjourn our next.
Can I ask for something to be put on another agenda in the future? Or do you have to close that out first?
We should do it before we adjourn.
Okay. I would like to ask that on an agenda in the near future that we talk about the reserve policy. And we talk through that and just get a better sense. I'd like a better sense in terms of if we can change that, that language and verbiage as we think through budgeting and the coming months that we have.
Absolutely. We can do that. We'll bring it back.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so, again, thank you to our honorees, and our next regular meeting is Thursday, February 19th. Thank you, everyone.